What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. This is another edition of me finishing mid-pack, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I make terrible decisions, because as you all know, if you've been here and you've been watching my channel for any period of time now, you know and understand that I am the smartest Cat 4 bike racer on the planet. So, without further ado, let's dive into this particular race. This is CBR number 3. And it's the Carson Course. It's a 4-corner crit, 0.9 miles. There is a little bit of a hill in here. I think it's out of turn 1, 2. Out of turn 3, there's a hill. The hill is actually pretty gnarly. It's like a 400-watt roller every time you go up it. This is a Cat 3-4 field, so it's also a little bit more organized than most of the races that you will typically see, especially in the pure Cat 4 stuff at CBR. But yeah, the 3-4 was fully loaded here. We had stage 2 cyclery. There's a rider in front of me. Team 6, you'll see Kyle and his squad a little bit later. And then the Velosport Juniors, they're in pink. They are here in full force. And then I am riding as a duo with Zach. So I'm like 8 upgrade points away from getting my Cat 3. I have really only been racing like 1 race a day, so you would think that I would have them by now, but it just has not worked out that way. I probably should race some of the Cat 4 stuff or the Cat 4-5 races, give myself more opportunities, but to be totally honest, I haven't really been in the mindset of like, hey, I want to race 3 races in a day. It's getting a little late season, suffering a little bit of burnout, but hanging in there. So yeah, overall, just not been as motivated to go out and chase down points. So started early season, got a few. Now I'm just sort of, trying to finish it up before the end of the season, which I shouldn't have a problem getting. But anyway, back to this race at hand. So like I said, CBR number 3, it's Carson Course. Super fast the whole time. There were 9 preems, so that kept this thing like strung out quite a bit, honestly. I did sprint for bar points at one point. I'll show you guys that. It's pretty funny. I don't know what I was doing. And then, yeah, I didn't really think a break was going to stick here, but if something was going to go, I knew it was going to be late race. So if a threatening enough move went really late race, then of course I was going to try and be in it. So even though this is a Cat 3-4 field, I still feel a little bit safer when I'm sitting sort of towards the front. So last thing I want to do is drop all the way back and deal with the sketch and all the chaos that happens in the back of the peloton. So my ultimate goal is to get up here with wheels I trust. I see the same people that I'm racing around all the time. And I'll ride these top 15, 20, whatever wheels. Just stay at the pointy end of the race as much as possible. That way I hopefully keep it safe, and yeah. And then I also have Zach here to help me out. He can sort of, jump in and out when needed and help shield from the wind. I can do the same for him. So anytime you have a teammate in the field, it's great. You can hear me telling him to slot in. I was giving him space in front of me to slot in, but he's like, nah, I'm moving up. So anyway, let's jump forward a little bit here and get into some of the action of the race.
Bring up points.
Famous last words there. The answer should have easily been no, but obviously I did not really commit to the whole like being a sprinter today situation. And I've got 22 bar points overall right now. I think I'm sitting in like, I don't know, 10th or 15th or something like that. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll grab some points. And if the leader, who's in the yellow jersey, does not go for those points, well then, you never know what can happen. But as you can see my rear cam, he came flying up behind me. We started this one a little bit early, so all these dudes right here are like, all right, bar point preem, let's hit it. So we're drilling it, but we're kind of like in this weird like limbo off the front. I should have just led this out and been first wheel if I was actually going to get points, but instead I did all this effort and then I didn't even get the bar points. So hell yeah, Dalton, what a legend. Great idea. I don't know. So I don't know why I did that, but that's just like a typical move that I would do, especially when I'm like, oh, I'm sprinting. Let's just call it an opener for sprinting later in the race. All right, so here we go, folks. This is where things start to get a little bit interesting, finally. I cut out like the mid, I don't know, 30 minutes of the race or so. So it's a 50-minute crit all in all. And we are currently about 40 minutes into it. And as I said, if something was going to go, it was going to go late. So SOC Preem just happened. There are, I think, 3 riders off the front. One of them is a PRT rider. Now, something that I was very cognizant of and very aware of was that Kurt, who has soloed a couple fields recently, is sitting pretty close to the front of this pack. He's in a really good position here, and I actually am about to look over.
Don't worry about it.
I tell Zach straight up, I was like, as soon as his teammate, Brandon, gets brought back, he's going to counter that move. Because I was pretty confident we were going to catch this break. We were moving pretty good, and it's a little bit strung out up here. So I'm thinking that Kurt is going to counter. I just said that out loud to Zach. And sure enough, we come out of this corner, and we start to get Brandon within sights. Now, basically right when we bring Brandon back, actually before he even comes all the way back, you're going to see Kurt jump right here, and I am so far out of position to cover that. So I'm like, ah, crap, okay, I got to get on this wheel. So I'm drilling, and I just didn't put enough effort in going up this hill, I guess. I mean, I hesitated. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I didn't think that they were going full gas. I should have just stayed on it and made sure I was on that move. So now I'm out here. I'm trying to bridge because there are 2 or 3 riders still way up the road. Kurt has countered. He's going. The rider in front of me is going. The stage 2 rider has ridden me all the way up to the start-finish line. I flick him through after a pretty good dig myself, and then he takes a good hard 3 seconds and sits up completely instead of rotating off. So shout out to that guy for totally blowing any chance we had at bridging. So I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for this. Kyle Kilmartin with Team 6 just goes rolling by me, full steam ahead. I mean, I don't blame him for not taking me with him. I also would just pass a group that's sitting up like that also. So anyway, I don't have the gas to make it across. This is just no man's land for me. It's painful doing 500, 600 watts. I did that initial pull, didn't have any help, so now I'm out here by myself, and the brake has basically stitched themselves up, and as soon as they start rotating, I realize very quickly they're going much faster than I can go to get across to it. I'm popped. I'm at like 180 something BPM. It's hot. And yeah, I decide to go ahead and go back to the pack. The only problem is it's super, super, super late in the race. And so now I'm probably going to be pretty toast to sprint. So I told Zach I couldn't get to it. Falling back in the pack so quickly here. So dangerous to that speed differential. But I'm just trying to find a slot to sort of give it 4 or 5 hard pedal strokes and get back in the group. So yeah, that was extremely demoralizing, getting caught out like that by myself. So now I'm just going to sit on the back, recover for a couple laps, and we're going to be coming into a couple to go here before long and start moving up, trying to get into position to sprint. Alright, so I have now successfully somewhat recovered. I was sitting literally like second to last wheel for probably the last like 8 minutes, but now this is 2 to go. So I had just told Zach, I was like, hey, hop on my wheel, let's go ahead and start trying to make our move and get to the front of this thing. And as you can see, it's starting to get sketchy. It's starting to get fast also at the same time. So now's when you know it's like it's time to go. 2 to go. You can't wait to be those top 20 wheels, or you're just going to be sitting where you're sitting, which is way too far back. So now it's go time. I want to use the hill if I can to maintain some momentum here and hopefully get me and Zach up a little bit further. And that'll be bringing us into 1 to go. But by 1 to go, I want to sort of be in position already. So we're still way too far back. I'm willing to put in the effort here to make the move, get as far up as possible, as early as possible. I don't want to be too close to the front, but as you can see here, we're just like way back, man. I'm like eating a bunch of wind too. So my hope though, I had been able to move up on the left side of this pretty much all day long, especially carrying momentum through there. So I'm hoping to do it once again coming into the bell lap. Also, yellow jersey, I know he's going to be there at the end. He's going to be in the sprint. He's going to be involved. So he's a good person to be around for this finish. And then a couple of the guys that are behind me in my rear cam right now are usually there for these finishes. So it's go time, and we're just trying to make our way to the front or get as close as possible. Now, with all the work I did late in this race, it would have been a smart thing to have Zach just sprint this. But instead, I think he was just going to lead me out once again. But, I mean, really, that was just not the move. Like, he probably had better legs than I did. So it would have been smarter for me just to cook myself and then go all out here. But you can see Zach comes around me, and he's like, all right, let's go. And so now we're coming into what is going to be the hill. and then we'll make the right-hander into the final straight. So this is the corner before we're going to be launching into that final straight. So I took a pretty bad line through that corner, and as you can see here, I've got like a 2 bike length gap off of Zach's wheel. So I yell at him, I'm like, you're sprinting, because he's in position. I'm nowhere even close. I'm sitting like, gosh, I think 15th or something. I don't even know. Maybe a little bit further back. But keep in mind also, the break of like 4 or 5 is off the front still, and they stuck it. So race over. So even me sitting 15th, I'm sprinting for what, 20th? And this thing gets pretty wide. But yeah, I just roll a C to sprint across the line, lock up 20th place. So break a 5 off the front, sprinted like 15th. Not a good result. This is like the first time I've just been like not strong enough to bridge to the break, and you know, I made some silly decisions late race, and you know, it cost me because I wasn't patient and I didn't just sit in and use my power in the sprint. And then also, you know, Zach and I were just really not that organized at the end. He tried to lead me out when realistically I should have just let him out. Probably would have been much better off. Anyway, here's some bonus footage of the beginning of the race sketch. I'll see you guys soon.